And we're live! Hello, everyone.
Live.
Yes, we are. This is episode 72 of the Crafty Boys podcast.
It's a good age.
That's right, where we talk about beer and stuff and everything from a Canadian perspective because that's who we are. And today, it is not in this country, unfortunately, but in the United States of America, it is the National Beer... What is it? The National... I think I threw myself. I think I said international. The National Beer Lovers Day. So this is the perfect place for you to be right now because if you're sitting at home drinking beer, awesome.
And you know, I mean, why couldn't today in Canada be National Beer Lovers Day? I mean, honestly,
Well, if you really think about it, it's pretty much a national, beer lovers' day every day in Canada. So, because we
That's
actually have
true.
real
true.
beer here. We don't have that fake stuff that's down south. It's not. We have good beer. So how's it going, boys? It's been a whole week. Apparently, I've left shoes out. That's my bad. But wait, those aren't mine. Never mind. But how's it going?
Good, good. How are you, Shane? Aside from leaving your shoes out.
I'm a little tired.
Tired? Are you tired, Shane?
I'm tired, man.
You look like you need to go to bed, Shane.
What?
Go to bed.
Sorry.
Oh, what?
What? Yeah, right now. If you pour me a beer, you might get lucky.
So anyway, yeah.
We should all go Barry White on this. So anyway, the beers we're talking about today.
But anyway, the most important news, not just today, but the most important news, of course, is that Friday is the Victoria Beer Fest. Sorry, I'm screwing the name up. Alan?
The Great Canadian Beer Festival.
That's the one. I wanted to say international again. I'm really international today. I'm really tired. So yeah, Beer Fest. Myself and Alan will be attending Beer Fest in Victoria again this year, like we did last year and the year before, and I think the year before that. And I think it's well, actually, it's Dave's fault for not going. So you suck, Dave, and that makes myself and Alan more important. And of course, our intrepid Locke is in Portland, Oregon these days, doing the whole law thing.
Still?
And
He
who knows?
hasn't moved on somewhere else?
Yeah, yes, he hasn't decided to just say, I'm going to Iceland. No, he's not. He is still where he is. So hopefully, Dave will just up and leave and just go and never come. That was the last time we saw him alive. The next time they saw Dave, he had a third arm and a deformed face.
Maybe he has to go to the bathroom.
I suspect so, because he has the bladder the size of this. So anyway,
We haven't even started drinking yet.
I know this is so sad. Well, we may as well start talking about the beer that we picked up because this week I picked a beer that I thought would be easy to get, and then Alan was like, "You're an idiot," and I'm like, and then about 2 minutes after that, I'm like, "Wait a minute, it's Beer Fest on Friday, so why are we not picking a beer from? It doesn't matter who it comes from, but somebody who will be at least at the Beer Fest. It doesn't necessarily have to be a beer that they have on tap there, but I thought it was really important that we, of course, get." Some sort of connection Friday. So, what did you get, Alan?
I got.
All said and done.
This is one that I've been looking at for a little bit, and I wanted to try it. It's going to be at Beer Fest. I thought, well, since we're doing this episode tonight, I'd get it now and have it now, so I don't have to try it at Beer Fest, and I could try something else. From Parallel 49, and again, Parallel 49 is probably my favorite brewery in BC. And
Cool.
It's their, I'll show up the label, the Dumb Funk Brett IPA, which is like a really awesome name.
That is kind of awesome, actually.
So it's It's an IPA made using Brettanomyces, a yeast as wild on the dance floor as it is in our tanks. Get freaky with its IPA's notes of funk, leather, and boogie. It has an international beer unit rating of 60.
Very good.
And it says it's best served at 6 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius. I think mine is significantly colder than that. But
Why would you say that?
well, because it's kind of been in the fridge for I don't know. What temperature are things in the fridge typically? Like 2, 3?
4-ish, somewhere in
So
there.
anyway, colder
Kind of
than what it
depends. You can
says.
adjust it.
Colder than what it says to serve it at, but whatever. So I'm interested to try it. So Shane, what did you get?
Well, I picked up a very interesting thing. Now, because I am in the neck of the woods of most of these breweries in town, um, I was able to pick up this. Hey, Allison,
Mm-hmm.
this is here, right here. What is this? Do you want to read this out for me?
White IPA.
And who's it from?
Strange fellows.
That's right. So we've got a growler of beer, not
Oh,
just
cool.
the other beer in a bottle, but it's the White IPA. It's from Strange Fellows. But because, and the reason I mentioned it, because I'm in the neck of the woods, we actually have it in a 33 acres Brewing Co. bottle. But local breweries, when you bring a growler, they don't care where it comes from. They fill it up. So,
Yeah,
so
as
I'm
they
going to
should.
pour this now.
Well,
Dave.
let's find out what Dave has.
Exactly.
Dave has. I wanted to try this. I really wanted to try this. So I'm glad I was able to still actually grab one. Atomic Buffalo from Phillips.
Atomic Buffalo.
It's probably going to be almost impossible to find because, Alan, you said you couldn't find it. Shane, you didn't even bother to try. But from what I understand, it's an older seasonal, like came out in June, July, somewhere in there. So I'm just lucky that they even had bottles left.
Yes. Now this one is
Did.
not at Beer Fest, although Phillips will be at Beer Fest. So it'd be interesting to try this one out, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about it, Dave.
And
All right, so let's open.
I thought it was
open
kind
mine.
of appropriate to get one from them just because Victoria is where it's going to happen.
Absolutely. And while we're pouring, I am going to announce that Shane, in my neck of the woods here, which is very near where your parents live, there is a brewery opening up.
I have heard this from my sister recently.
Yeah, on Enterprise
But I don't know what it's
Crescent.
called.
It's called Victoria Caledonia Brewery and Distillery. So they're making beer and whiskey at this place. Right now, they're doing free tours of the brewery for this week, and then the grand opening is on Saturday.
Very cool.
So do they
I
already have
think
whiskey?
we should go.
I think we should go too, provided we're not too hungover on Saturday.
Yeah, well, who knows? I'm just going to show you the color of this beer here. I've lost my streaming window over there. So there's the White IPA from Strange Fellows. It's got a very light color, which I would expect from a white. But and it's
Now, is it
really
unfiltered?
hoppy.
Is it unfiltered?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's unfiltered. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's definitely, I mean, the hoppy flavor. I cannot tell you what actually, maybe it's on their website. I'll look it up right now. But it's very hoppy. Like it's not. It's not a beer that's awesome.
What?
I was trying to
Um,
describe it and I failed miserably, so I decided just to go for the it's really nice. Um, like I was expecting it to be not as hoppy as it is, so I am pleased.
Okay, so it is good then, because I thought you said it's not awesome.
No. It's awesome, but I just wish I could describe it better. Um, the white IPA is 6.5%, uh, and it is officially called the Guardian, which is not on the bottle. And it has an international beer unit of 60 as well.
Oh, cool.
hmm.
So the Brett IPA from Parallel 49, the Dumb Funk, um, is really good. Um, I think I was expecting it to be a little bit on the sour side, and it's not. I don't know why I was expecting that.
'Cause you're weird.
Well, I think it's because, I've had Brett IPAs in the past, and they had a bit of a sour flavor to it.
I didn't actually see the label, by the way. You want to flash that again?
Sure. There it is right there.
Okay, Dumb Funk. Yeah.
Um,
What? Sorry,
what?
I thought he was insulting you at the same time.
No, that's what it's
Um,
called.
that's kind of awesome.
But it's a good beer. I really like it. It's hoppy. It has a citrusy kind of flavor to it, which you would expect from a hoppy beer. Not the hoppiest I've ever had, but pretty good.
So you
Another
like
winner
beer,
from Parallel 49.
nice. I would
Dave?
just like to interject here that your beer is the only one that appears to have gotten any head. Because
Yeah, mine is
that's mine.
it's very headless actually.
Yeah,
Although
I poured pretty
um,
carefully, though, I will say.
I was pouring quite slowly, but at the same time, um, I know I'm not finding a lot of head in some of the stuff that you get out of a growler. Sometimes,
Hmm.
um, but it tends to be less so. Um, I guess that's just because cans are more sealed or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. I just have noticed that once in a while.
Hmm.
I will say that when I first started pouring mine, the Brett IPA, it actually had a significant head on it and like a little bit too much. And I had to let it sit and kind of go down a little bit, and then I poured a little bit more, uh, and it was a little bit more manageable that way. But I don't know if I just poured it wrong. I don't think I did, but it had like a head on it about that big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have to work to get ahead on this one because I poured it pretty carefully.
So what do you think?
I love this.
So go over it again. What exactly the flavor, what kind of beer it is?
Okay, Atomic Buffalo, and it's billed as a smoky red saison.
So now, do you detect a smoky flavor?
Detect? No, it's kind of smacking me in the taste buds, and I love
Right.
it. So,
Okay.
for once, a beer that advertises a given flavor actually has it. And it's very, very interesting that it's smoky. And there's no mistaking it. It is full on. It's
Oh
right.
yeah. I've had a couple of smoky beers
Mm,
over the years, and yeah, that's one thing about the smoky flavored beers. It just smacks you in the face. That's all you taste is the smoke. Um, so some of them I like, some of them I don't.
mm.
Some of them I find is just kind of like over. It's like I feel like I'm eating nuts for my barbecue, um, but to
Mhm.
each their own, right? Shane, have you ever had a smoky beer?
I have. I don't mind them at all. I think that when you have a beer that kind of Here's actually the times that I have had it is actually with barbecue, like when you're actually outside roasting things up and whatnot. And that's pretty much, I think, the best way to enjoy those because otherwise, um, the smoky flavor, I think, at times.
Yeah,
But
you might not
again,
want this with other stuff, would you? Really?
it kind of depends. I mean, sometimes yeah, sometimes no. Kind of. I mean, it really would depend on what actually it is. Like if you were doing an all veggie thing, then it would be fine, I would think. If you had a really deep kind of, um, I don't know, like a very dark sauce, like a very sort of dark with a lot of smoked meat in it or something, then yeah, maybe it'd be overpowering. But I don't know. I think they balance it out well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this makes a really wicked segue because
Okay.
uh, that first article that Alan put up there, delicious ways to cook. So speaking of, I'm thinking that this Atomic Buffalo would be pretty sweet dumped into a chili,
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Now you're talking. Okay.
right?
I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
Hell, I'd buy that for $1.25.
A
Yeah.
bucket and a half for a beer.
Oh yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done.
But overall, yeah, I think
Like
that.
using that in like baking. Like there's a recipe here
Okay.
in this article for National Beer Lovers Day, delicious ways to cook with beer, and it has a beer pizza. So you put beer in the crust, in the dough. But can you imagine like a smoky kind of beer in the dough to give like the pizza a smoky kind of flavor?
That would be amazing.
That would be really good. If you use like a smoked cheese,
Why are we not doing this right now?
we have to try that.
Well, I
I want
wonder
a
if
big chunk, a
that
smoky beer.
there's that brewery in Courtney that works with that pizzeria, and I wonder if they ever use beer in their crust.
Which one?
That'd be Gladstone, wouldn't it?
Yes, Gladstone. They're in the same building. They share a building with what's called Gorilla Pizza, and it is wicked pizza. So good.
Now, out of curiosity, just while we're talking about Gladstone, they were at Beer Fest a couple years ago. Um, I
Oh,
don't
yeah?
think they were there last year, or maybe they were there last. Were they there last year, Shane?
I don't have memories are a bit foggy. Of what breweries were there?
Well, I remember
Um,
you and I talking to the owners of Gladstone, and the deal was is that they actually started on Gladstone Avenue in Victoria, and
Okay.
eventually and moved their operation up island because it was cheaper for them to do so, like significantly cheaper.
well, yeah,
Um,
I mean downtown Victoria stuff. I mean it would be very pricey. There's no
yes.
question.
So, um, but are they bottling their stuff? Is their stuff like available anywhere? Because I haven't seen it anywhere locally. Or are they just running it as sort of like an on-site premises and that's it?
They may be
I
doing that
myself
at the
haven't. No.
moment. I don't know for sure, but I think you're right. They might just be trying to sort of build up clientele for what they're doing. They have a pretty solid rep, I think, in town. I think people like what they do. I've only had their what was it? Their Belgian. Uh, was it just an ale or it was an ale or a lager? You know, not something terribly fancy,
Right.
but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was tasty beer. It was nice. And I
Do
did
they
have it
do
with one of the
growlers?
pizzas. Oh yeah, for sure. I see people walking in with growlers all the time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they seem to do pretty good business. Like there seems to be folks there pretty regular. So
Cool.
yeah. More the one problem they have, which is a little unfortunate, is they don't have a lot of space inside. In fact, they've got virtually no space inside. So they've got a few tables set up outside, but of course during the winter, there's not a whole lot of people willing to brave the elements as they're referred to. So I think
Pussies.
they might get more folks just coming in with the growlers to grab their beers and then running, as opposed to coming in and having a couple of pints and grabbing a pizza at the same time, that kind of deal, right?
Maybe we should do that.
I think we should.
I
But we'll
agree.
brave the elements. We'll sit outside in like December.
I like it.
We're here because we are men, people that are built from a hardy stock that will not fear going on to a beer-laden
We're not just men. We're Canadian men.
We get a phone call from the Bay. Can we use that? No. I think I'm behind this whole plan. I think it's actually quite a brilliant idea. I think that we should do that.
That might
Because-
be for a beer, Canadian man stock.
I picture it as like the extra old stock logo. I don't know, man. I just think that would be kind of funny. But
All right,
That-
here's a
yeah.
question for you guys for National Beer Lovers Day. Do you know what is the official name of a beer lover or a beer enthusiast?
Oh,
No? Give up?
I think I saw it. Severophile.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. I'm
It's a
just spitting something out.
Cerevisiphile.
a
Let's
what?
see.
A Cerevisiphile.
A Cerevisiphile.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Cerevisiphile. This is apparently what
Sorry,
we
say
are.
this. Can you spell that one more time? C-E.
Cerevisiphile.
Okay.
S-A-P-H-I-L-E.
Shane's
An
fact
aficionado
checking.
of beers and ales, a devotee to the decoction of barley infused with hops and fermented, an imbiber of beer on the highest order, bordering on devotion. One who pursues the very finest in malted beverages. That's kind of awesome, and that's our new title for this show.
And I think something that we have
I
to
had no
do
idea.
is we have to go to Germany at some point. Because in Germany, apparently, they serve beer ice cream in popsicle form.
Okay, sorry. Back up.
Okay.
Let's get this straight. There's a beer out there that you can consume as a ice popsicle
Yes. In Germany.
in Germany.
Yeah. The only thing is its alcohol content is a little less. It's a little lower.
I was going to say, because freezing point would be
Yeah.
a little hard to work with.
Alcohol doesn't really freeze. So apparently it's popular. Well, I don't know if it's popular. It doesn't say it's popular. It's just apparently in Germany you can get it.
I don't know if there's a culture
I
on the
want- I
planet that
want
does
this.
beer more than the Germans do.
Huh?
I think the Germans take their beer more seriously than pretty much any other country. I think.
Well, Oktoberfest and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they've got their purity laws, like, for real.
You mean as it pertains to beer?
Yes. I know it's kind of an unfortunate turn of phrase.
Yeah.
But it's for real. They've got beer laws pertaining to what exactly constitutes a beer. And they go back to, what the hell, something like the mid 1600s, I believe it is, where they actually lay out in law what can be called a beer and what can't. Because I saw this article, it was not very long ago either, where they were talking about how it's actually affecting what can be served as a beer in Germany or sold as a beer because of these laws. Because people are doing stuff, they're doing certain things to beer that the three of us would say, yeah, okay, that's a beer. But in Germany, legally, it cannot be called a beer.
Oh,
Yep.
interesting.
Right?
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, hey, agree or not, that's apparently how they do things in Germany, at least at the moment.
And good night, everyone. Speaking of Germany and beer, the month after September is called what? Oktoberfest, you say?
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to. I just saw this on Twitter. How Sound Beer is releasing their seasonal fall beers right now, this week or next week. And they have a new oak-aged Equinox IPA, and of course Pumpkin Eater, which has been around forever. So we're gonna have to cover these because I'm very interested, and I don't remember if How Sound is going to be at Beer Fest.
They are.
Did you say, Shane, it was called Pumpkin Eater?
Pumpkin Eater, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it in the store today. I guess they got. Or they're
I've
starting
yeah,
to get
it's supposed
shipments.
to. Yeah, it's supposed to have gone out like today. I'm just curious if Beer Fest, How Sound.
They are there.
They are
Here.
going to have the bourbon oaked aged Pumpkin Eater Imperial Ale. So I know where I'm going, booth 51.
I'm putting it on my wish list.
Oh, which
There
I
we
have
go.
to
It's
download
added
the
to
app.
my wish
Okay.
list. And
Very
that
nice.
was actually going to be a cask.
Very good, which is even better. The interesting thing about Beer Fest, or not Beer Fest, about Oktoberfest
Oktoberfest?
is I was talking to somebody the other day who said that they actually had gone to an Oktoberfest already.
What?
So, exactly, that's actually what I said. I said, I beg your pardon. But I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it's just something I'd like to try this year because I don't think last year I went to an Oktoberfest. I don't think I went to one the year before.
I haven't been to an
even-
Oktoberfest thing in years.
I think we should go to one this year.
Well, Shane, did you ever go to those ones with me to the Edelweiss Club in downtown Victoria?
Yep, yeah. I went to.
Yeah,
I think
and
those are
they
probably
had
the
like
only ones that
the
I really went to.
dancers and everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was good fun. I'd like to go to something like that again, but the problem is the one here got so popular that it sells out like that, and
Bummer.
it's really hard to get tickets for it.
That's too bad because I think that it would be cool. To
Well, I
do
tell you what,
because-
Shane, if you come over, we'll go.
All right, done. Hey, Dave,
I'm not going by myself though.
you're gonna come to Victoria for Oktoberfest?
That could work.
Cool.
I could
I'm
see
liking
that
this.
potentially working, depending on when it is in October.
Well, it's usually sometime during that month.
Yeah.
The one at the Edelweiss Club in Victoria, they do it every Saturday night throughout October. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have multiple chances, is what you're saying.
Multiple chances. So, did you guys know that centuries ago in England, pub visitors used a novel innovation that enabled them to get their beer served quickly? They used mugs with a whistle baked into the rim, the whistle being used to summon the barmaid. And it's been suggested that this practice gave birth to the phrase "wet your whistle."
That's
Really?
cool.
Really?
I had no idea. That totally makes sense, though.
But I mean, how would they bake a whistle into a beer glass like centuries ago? Like,
Well, the potter
Well,
would
I
have had
mean-
to fashion the whistle into the mug, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So how did they carbonate beer back then?
Naturally.
Well, I mean, could they seal it?
It's funny you asked this question because I was having this very conversation with somebody a little while ago up in our building, and I was talking about I was thinking about trying to filter my beer when I'm making it, which by the way there's an IPA bubbling away right now.
Nice.
I was thinking about doing something about getting the clarity up, and I got this in response. I got this incredibly long explanation about why I was an idiot. And let me tell you why I was an idiot. Um, because essentially,
Can
the
you
thing
shorten it? Can you give us a short version?
sure, I'm a tool.
All right.
Oh wait,
Moving
um,
on.
moving along. Actually, no, they were talking about how the way that beer was made for a very long time was essentially somebody was carrying some barley and fell into a cesspool of water and decided it tasted good. So, but there's a lot of thing to it
Was it kind
where
of like, remember those old Reese commercials where it says, "You got your peanut butter in my chocolate. No, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter." Was it kind of like that? You got your water in my barley.
pretty much. I think that's exactly what it was all about. But it was interesting just because it was an interesting perspective that Shane, yes, you could filter your beer, yes, you could do this, but you have to remember that craft brewers and especially commercial brewers filter their beer. It's a pain in the ass to do, but they do it because the clientele has become used to, or there's like an expectation that the beer will have this sort of clarity going on. When you think about it, beer really doesn't have any clarity at all. It's kind of a muddy kind of drink that's kind of nice and whatnot.
Mother's
But what?
Mother's milk.
Mother's milk. Yes, there we go. The Firefly reference of the day. And essentially, yeah, it's like a mother's milk where you have an alcohol with whatever you fermented it in, or with, and or vice versa. And so it didn't really matter what it really did, except what the result was, where people became comfortable and happier, and in their stress levels dropped, etc. So it was then that I decided, you're right, I'm a stupid fool. I will not try to filter my beer because A, it's a pain in the ass, but two, why should I when beer really isn't meant to be as clear as like this white IPA is very unfiltered, so it's nice and cloudy. It's not gritty, but it's definitely not something that is, say, a what's that gross stuff, Budweiser. It's not that. So yeah, I'm very pleased to learn this little bit of history about why I was a tool and I should just shut my mouth. So yeah, there you go.
I mean, all these years.
After all these years, Shane, I'm so happy you finally figured it out, you total moron. I stand corrected. So yeah, there you go. Beer should not be clear. Beer is an ale. Beer is something that you don't necessarily have ever a filtration part of the process. But if you're a nerd and whatever, yeah, fill your boots.
So here's another beer fact. How do you guys think? Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of giving away the answer before I even ask the question. But how do you guys think the slaves in Egypt were paid in exchange for building the pyramids?
Beer.
Beer. They were paid in beer.
Yeah, they totally were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh.
Well, I imagine the workers were pretty happy most of the
Well, it
time.
got them something to drink. And I imagine that they would be pretty happy about that. But you translate that into today, and yeah, I don't know how many people would be as happy about that situation.
This is a good point. This is a very good point.
Speaking of translating, Shane, what were we talking about earlier today? Uh, happened in history today in the Wild
That's
West,
right.
as it's known.
Alan also has done this, where
What?
essentially today, 131 years ago, on this very day, Dr. Emmett Brown was gunned down, shot in the back over
By
a matter
Buford
of 80
Tannen.
by Buford Tannen over a matter of $80. You don't need to drink beer to know this. You just have to be a complete and utter nerd.
Well, no,
Which
this
is
is the better
awesome.
part, though. You actually
Continue.
did the conversion.
Oh, this is true. I did a conversion of the $80 in 1885 US dollars into 2015 dollars, and the amount that he got shot in the back over was $1,893.92. So there you go. That's exactly what occurs when you get that's the amount you would have to be shot in the back over by Buford Tannen in this day and age. Of course, I
Sorry,
don't
how
think
much?
well, $80 in 1885 compared to
Yeah.
2015 in U.S. dollars was 1,893.92, give or take.
So that was to cover the cost of the horse,
The horse,
plus the horse that he
shoe.
shot, and the $5 bottle of Kentucky Red Eye.
Hey, okay. Wait a second. I only calculated the $80. So, what would Kentucky Red Eye? Let's see, Kentucky
Well,
Red
the
Eye.
$80 was for both.
Oh, for both. You're right. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
combined. But so we're saying that we could buy a horse for like $1,800 now.
well, this is the thing,
Yeah,
right?
you
Is that
could.
I don't. This
You
is
could.
only a straight conversion of that amount to the amount now, which of course doesn't take into account that horses might be worth more. I mean, again, a standard sort of working horse for riding or keeping as a pet are probably not as expensive as, say, you know, butt floss Tiffany, or something where
What?
it's like a racing horse or a breeding horse or something. I was trying, those names of horses, it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're terrible.
terrifying pterodactyl. Terrifying pterodactyls above butt floss Tiffany and butt floss Tiffany for the win. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous, right? So, it still doesn't change the fact that there's a song out there by the band Primus called Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
Mhm.
Anyway, moving right along.
It is a
So
great tune, by the way.
It is.
exactly. So, and the big thing about it is that if the horse now, did they specify how much the horse was in that transaction? I'm kind of curious.
No, but he said that the bottle of Kentucky Red Eye was $5. So the horse must have been worth $75. He goes, bring back the horse and I'll reshoe him. I done shot that horse. Well, that's your problem. No, it's yours.
You're gonna get a bullet in your back. Mad Dog Buford Tannen. I'm actually gonna look this quote up because I really need to know. Let's see. Here we go. You owe me money, blacksmith. How do you figure? My horse threw a shoe, and seeing as you was the one that did the shoeing, I say that makes you responsible. Well, you never did pay me for the job. I say that makes us even. Wrong. You see, I was on my horse when it threw the shoe, and I got thrown off. And that caused me to bust a perfectly good bottle of fine Kentucky Red Eye. So the way I figure it, blacksmith, is you owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse. There you go. So yeah, I guess the horse was $75. Now,
I wonder though if that was for the horse or was that for the job of shoeing the horse.
that's
Well, no, because Buford, he shot the horse, so he wanted
He
Doc
shot the
to
horse.
pay him
Okay.
back for the horse.
Okay.
Because the horse threw a shoe, so
And it
the
got
only reasonable course of action is to shoot.
Now, I'm gonna point this a little bit
Of
out
course.
because I just did a question on the internet. How much did it cost to buy an average horse in 1885? Um, so there's actually an answer to this question. Thank you, Google.
Oh man, what did you do before?
Referencing this is from the Pacific Reporter, volume 21. April 18th to August 15th, 1889, talking about the price of horses of that time. So, according to this document, horses, if they were not well, so if they were ill or injured, you could buy about 2 of them for roughly $80.
Wow.
For a used horse that needed work, the market price was about $40 to $45 for a horse. So I actually have this document open because I'm really that nerdy. Which, by the way, the Pacific Reporter, Volume 21, containing all the decisions of the Supreme Courts of California, Colorado, Kansas, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Idaho, Montana, Washington State, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico between April 18th and August 15th of 1889, is a free ebook on Google Books. So there you go.
Wow.
So anyway, so I'm just looking up the horses here and about how these horses were. So these are all court cases, just for those of you who are not paying attention, which most probably aren't. I love this, how they summarize these complaints. The gist of the complaint is that the defendant, knowing his horse to be vicious, induced the plaintiff to assist him in an attempt to hitch the horse to a wagon by falsely stating to him that the horse was gentle. So the plaintiff did attempt to assist him, whereupon the horse became unmanageable, knocked the plaintiff down, and trampled upon him, breaking his leg, so that amputation became necessary. So the price of this horse, by the way, was approximately $120. So,
Whoa.
so there you go. Of course, this is part of a much larger. He's suing this guy. So, by the way, if you are interested, this is in the Supreme Court of California from March 26th, 1889. Finney versus Curtis. Animal, vicious horse, action for injury, and instructions on what to do with the horse. So there you go. This horse is not that expensive. So I guess it's reasonable to assume that if this was a low-grade horse, if it was a horse that Buford Tannen had purchased, that potentially
he probably didn't purchase it.
Well, let's
be honest.
This is a good point. This is a very good point.
He probably stole it off a Chinaman or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you have all these kinds of things, what are you gonna do?
And I'm saying that because they use the line in the movie.
No, I know, but so it is very interesting that these sorts of conversations have already happened and are well documented on the internet. So congratulations, guys. We have finally achieved a level of beer nerdism and nerdisms that we've actually looked up the price of Buford Tannen's horse in 1885 with a reasonable. There you go. I don't know what else to say other than.
I think that's it. I think there's nothing more to say.
Yep, I think
show's over.
Show's over, everyone.
Series is over. Podcast.
Nothing to see here. Absolutely nothing to see here. Everyone move along. So, any final words for our viewers today?
Just that the Bread IPA from Dumb Funk from Parallel 49 is a great beer. I suggest trying it out, and I hope to see people at Beer Fest here in Victoria this coming up weekend. We're going to be there on Friday. We're hoping that we have a better luck at recording some stuff to put together for a show. But we'll see how that goes, because we tried it last year and it just didn't work.
I wonder why.
Try. We'll try. Yeah, that's it. Dave, over to you.
All right. I highly recommend this beer if you can get your hands on it.
Or any kind of
Oh,
smoky beer.
well, yeah. I mean, I would be interested in trying a different smoky, seeing as you said you've had a few of them. So, yeah, because seriously, I think this is my new official favorite that I've tried up to now.
Cool.
Because I really, really enjoyed this one. And I would just like to say that as much as I said it kind of smacks you in the taste buds, um, it wasn't that it was overpowering, not by any means, because it starts all smoky and tasty that way, but it finishes a little more. I'm not even sure, kind of caramel,
Hmm.
a little bit.
Interesting.
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's great stuff. I really enjoyed it.
And back to Shane in the studio.
Thank you, Dick. The white IPA from Strange Fellows is a light IPA. I'm loving it. I recommend it highly. And that does not mean that I'm biased because somebody that works in my lives in my building works as a brewer there. But that's beside the point. But yeah, no,
Oh.
seriously, it's actually a really tasty. Like, look at this, it's gone. So I gotta say, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Strange Fellows. I don't think I've had anything really that bad there ever. So yeah, give it a try. They of course have it in their tap room, and of course it is out and about in the wild as well. Um, so I think that's enough for today. Um, we will see you, of course, on Friday. We will be trying to live stream probably through Periscope or I don't know. We're gonna try something. It didn't work out very well last year because a couple of beer lovers and a camera doesn't help. So, but yeah, we're gonna give it a try this year and maybe do some live streaming because that probably will do way better than anything that we could do afterwards. But anyway, thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for checking us out. Spread the word. Make sure people know who we are. We, of course, are the Crafty Boys. We have a website. We have a Twitter. We've got all that for sort of fun stuff. Of course, if you want to find all that stuff, it will be down in the wibbly wobbly stuff down below here, down this way. The wibbly wobbly. So anyway,
Technically,
Alan,
the doobly do.
Doobly doo. Oh, that's right. So that's right. There is a blogger out there that calls it the doobly doo. But anyway, so thank you, everyone. And Alan, I will see you on Friday. Dave, I'm going to make fun of you incessantly all day on Friday because you're not at Beer Fest.
You're going to be our whipping boy.
That's right.
Hey, I have to frickin' work, man.
Wah 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 wah.
So did I. I asked for
So
the
did
day
I.
off.
Me too. I adjusted my schedule so I wouldn't be, screwing up my timing. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you all Friday, and if not, see you next week.